All right. This is gonna be a nice calm video. Okay. All right. Okay. It is to no surprise that last night I jumped on Brian's show, Brian McClay. Beyond Wednesdays, he does Monday. He does great human being, beautiful soul of a human being, great human being. I like talking to Brian. And thank you for having me on the show. And so I'm gonna calmly touch base on something just to make now a point. And I ask everybody to just think about what I'm saying. I'm gonna show you guys more black and white sales data and let it just sink into the brain and just think about it. Ponder it over, and just think about what I'm trying to communicate to you guys calmly, okay, logically. These self-made gimmick foil covers are hype. You have all been subconsciously pre-programmed to believe that they are valuable. FOMO is real. The fear of missing out is real. And it is great. And I understand that a lot of the resellers now, whom were not within their inner circle in the beginning years, 2 years ago, to experience quick cash on gimmicks, and now you're all invited to buy into the gimmick. And I understand that a lot of you sellers, it's fast money for you guys. It pays the bills. You have families, wives, children, even yourselves to take care of, to put food over your table, to put food on your table and a roof over your head and keep your vehicles paid and working. I get it. I get it, because it's not easy out there. I get it. And some of you, this is just a side hustle. And some of you, this is your main income. I get it. Okay? At the end of the day, those same sellers whom 2 years ago or last year or 4 years ago that everybody was talking smack on and being like, fuck them, they're selling gimmicks, they're influencers, they're influenzas, they're this, they're that, they're XYZ. You have now all become that. And this is not a dig or shade or whatever you guys want to call it. I'm talking from here right now. This ain't beef, battle, drama, whatever wording you guys want to call it. I'm talking from here right now. And it's not so much a bad thing, but what you guys are promoting and the sales that you guys are promoting are man-made gimmick, recreation, reprinted facsimile. At times, even with that now Ultimate Spider-Man, I don't care what color foil it is now a 4th or a 5th or a 6th or a 7th printing. I even lost track of how many Marvel did. And everybody continues to buy into it and pay their hard-earned money and invest into these things. So right now, what I'm going to do is put up some sales data. But I do want this to really sink in to everybody, because it's going to start to make sense. it's going to start to make sense as to why this absolute Batman foil cover, well, why isn't this selling for $200-300? It's made of the same foil materials, the same piece of paper, but yet you guys are subconsciously pre-programmed to believe that those gimmicks are worth more than this third printing Venom 4, which is actually relevant in the MCU currently, but this is only selling for $40. And oh, it's not a foil cover. Or what about this? Do you all remember this original? Amazing Spider-Man 300. It's a newsstand, baby. But today I'm not excited to say that, because this has been mass reproduced and facsimiled and foiled and God knows what else. And really, are those things really worth that price? No, but you've been subconsciously pre-programmed to believe that it is. But what about this Grail, the original that Todd McFarlane created? What about this? Why isn't anybody waiting in lines at New York Comic Con recently to get this? But you guys are spending hundreds and hundreds of dollars to buy foil covered gimmicks, multiples, which adds up to more than what this is worth raw. Does that make sense to any of you young men and women out there? Because it surely doesn't make sense to me. And last but not least, I want to bring up concrete sales. So let's look at a what app Gold Foil Ultimate Spider-Man and look at the sales as of right now today. We're going to see that these things are selling for $200, $200, $250, $210. Then you get some silvers, $90, $50, because they were limited to 1,500 copies. But pay attention to that, ladies and gentlemen. Limited to 1,500 copies. Okay? That's going to be important right now, because now I'm going to show you this. The nonsense gimmicks. That's done all the time, week after week, month after month. Let's look at all the Spider-Man 300 homages. And we look at those sales data, and we scroll down, okay? And I'm gonna, right here, for example, Amazing Spider-Man 49 homage exclusive 300 printed. Well, there is no difference of this with any other recreated, replicated, facsimiled, reprinted piece of paper book. In fact, only 300 of these were created versus 1,500 with just a foily, shiny effect of a gold or a silver or a purple or whatever color you want to subconsciously be pre-programmed that is worth more than anything else currently in today's market. And you could scroll through and you see all of these homages and variants and gimmicks that were created over time years ago. And now $3, $20, $44, $30, $6, $24, $15, $7, $66, $4. And then people are going to actually try to debate me and say, oh, Nick, but it's different. It's not different. The only difference is the printed cover on the front. It is the same gimmick reproduction of an original comic book already done, and just because somebody claims, okay, there's only 1,500 of this and 1,000 of this and 400 of this and 300 of this. Well, week after week, month after month, year after year, convention after convention, many retailers put out limited copies of 300, 500, lower print runs. There's no difference, ladies and gentlemen. You guys are being duped. And if you really sit back, and you analyze this year alone in 2024 as it comes to an end in 2 months, we're at the end of October right now. Fourth quarter is here. We're going to close out business, and January 2025 is next year. How many facsimile covers did DC print? How many facsimile covers did Marvel print? How many variants did they print? How many foil covers did they print? And you guys are placing this high, immense value on reprints. Reprints, ladies and gentlemen. There is no debate on that. Facsimiles, reprints, homages, self-made creations and gimmicks. And you all are forgetting about the original historic comic books and comic book history. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you should be online for. This, ladies and gentlemen, is what you should wait online for to all of the comic book sellers at New York Comic Con. This Silver Age, Golden Age, the real true history. But you young men and women, I can't even say young, men and women are all standing in line, pumping hundreds, if not thousands of dollars, buying all of these self-created foil cover, metal cover gimmicks. And see, this is what live apps have created. It created a way to subconsciously pre-program all of you collectors now in the modern era to believe that this has some sort of intrinsic value. And we have seen over the test of time, it does not. As a matter of fact, it dramatically decreases very rapidly, if not in the next 2-3 weeks. And sure as hell, it decreases in the next year and multiple years after that. Finally, I leave you with this. We have seen these apps support and back dishonest human beings for years. We have seen these apps support the sales of gimmicks and dishonest people for years. By selling these items, you are supporting what they support. Let everything sink in. A collectible is only worth the price somebody in the world is willing to pay for it. These are the true original pieces that you should be waiting in line for. Have a good night, guys.